Good day, my friends, and welcome. Welcome this to our Saturday version, noon Eastern time. But this is also to accommodate our great and glorious family members in the UK and around the world who are not able to meet us at night for hours. So this provides a version of a new, not a new, but a new, a chance for you to speak. There's something very different between the live presentation and that is recorded. I did one which will drop a little bit later. And we'll talk a little bit is how I hate cliches. I hate this is Memorial Day weekend. This is an American, as you know, celebration where we honor those who have, quote, given their life or lives for our freedom. This is what they say. And they will say invariably, freedom isn't free. And they say it almost as though I think they were the first ones to come up with that. I really do. I think they feel, get it? Freedom, freedom. Say, yeah, I get it. But what are you saying? What does this mean? And they really don't know. And it's not because they're bad people. It's not because I think they're sincere. I just don't think people think. I don't think people sometimes in your life, what you're doing, step back, kind of close some of the windows on your program and ask yourself, what am I doing? What is going on here? Does this make any sense? It is so easy to be caught in, God, so many cliches. Lives are cliches. I know people who are involved in relationships and romance where you're thinking they're doing it because they think they kind of sort of have to do it, that it's something that you do. Their life is a cliche. And you ask them, do you really want to be doing this at your life? Are you really happy? And they'll say, no, I'm not. Well, why are you doing this? Why are you saying this? And they'll say to you, I don't know. I really don't know. And you've got to take hold of yourself. You have to, you are the best therapist there is. And I want you to do some things. I want you to practice some things. I know this may sound, people have a hard time with this. I don't care how you do it. The best part is because I think you can walk around wearing headphones or ear pods and you can talk. People think you're on the phone. You can go outside and just imagine. This is your therapy now. Imagine you're on a TV. It's a thought experiment. You're on a TV show or you're a therapist yourself. And somebody is asking you to explain, what is it that you're doing? Ask them. Ask yourself that question. What am I doing? Seriously. And see if you can answer it. Listen to what you say. Listen to yourself answer the question. I cannot tell you the number of people that I know who are in marriages and they can't even understand. They don't even know why. And they've been doing this for years. And they've never asked themselves to say, I'm living a cliche. I'm living a life and a lie in which I'm supposed to be doing this, I guess. Are you happy? No. Why are you doing this? I don't know. I don't really know. I don't know why I'm doing this. Well, why are you doing it? I don't know. Are you happy with your job? No. There are people going through college or through the career, and they feel like they have to pursue something because they told everybody, well, I'm going to be doing this. And I told everybody I was pre-law, so I have to go through with it because it's like, do you really want to do this? No. Well, why are you doing it? I don't know. Do you really believe this? No. Well, why are you saying it? I don't know. So just a little bit of advice. Stop. Kind of get out of the crowd for a moment and ask yourself a very simple question. What am I doing? What is the purpose of this? Now, one thing I want to talk to you about, which is very, very important, and I think we're kind of losing a little bit of our focus on, I think we're losing a little bit of the focus, believe it or not, on Tyler Robinson. I really do. And I want to clarify a few things with you. I want to bring something up to your attention. I want to see if I can help you with this. For reasons I don't understand, there are some folks who are becoming so microscopic regarding what's going on. I have no idea why they're saying these things and doing these things. I really don't know. I've heard some of the most intricate, fastidious, punctilious, deep dive, I don't know what the word is, reviews of the Tyler Robinson case. And I'm thinking, a jury's going to get confused with this. What are we talking about? And sometimes people will say, I love this. This is great. And you'll say, yes, you're going through it. And it sounds very interesting. It really, really does. And I appreciate this. But the question I have for you is, why are you going through this? A jury's not going to understand any of this at all. None of it. Why are we going through timestamps and he was Mirandized at 12:02 versus 12:03 and it's important, but the question is a jury going to understand this? No. Is a jury going to grasp this? No. I remember during the OJ case. Maybe you do as well. I hope you do. Maybe you do, maybe you don't. And what they did was during the first part of this, they had these blood splatter, these blood experts on, and they were talking about alleles. And you had a bunch of LA kind of, dare I say this with all due respect, kind of urban folks who may not have had that intricate of a level of science. And you're talking about allele groups and chromosomal pairings. And I'm thinking, you're missing the point. Jury doesn't have to know all this stuff. What's the big picture? What does it mean? What is the big picture? What does this really, honest to God, what does it mean to the jury? I think we've lost a lot of this. I really do. I think we've lost a lot of the narrative and we've gone too much for the specifics because a lot of people, frankly, do not care about this. They're not going to care about this. This may be of interest to you, sort of, but not really. And we have two things I want you to think about regarding the Tyler Robinson case. He is going to be unalived. Now, I'm not one of these people who loves to predict. Sometimes people will say things, and they do it in the kind of a predictive sense, but really they sort of want it to happen. I'm not like that. Sometimes people will say things about folks. They'll say like, I'm worried about Candace. And it's like, don't say things like that, because sometimes I don't think people want that to happen, but I think that sometimes you can precipitate doom by saying things. You see what I'm saying? And I think sometimes that in the course of our discussions here, I think in the course of all of our wonderful shows and different presentations, some people love to just get to see who can deep dive the deepest, who can go the furthest, who can really go deep into this. And the question is, why? Why are you doing this? It doesn't matter what you and I think. It matters what the jury thinks. And the jury, I want them to find Tyler not guilty. And I don't have to teach them anything. All I have to do is make them have a doubt. That's it. That's all I have to do. I don't have to prove anything. I don't have to prove. And when I bring something up and I say, and they say, hey, that's weird, does that cause a doubt? Or does that make you say, hey, that's weird? Let me say this again. If I can show you discrepancies between the time from Washington County and Utah County and driving 4 hours and whether he was Mirandized at this time versus that time, whether this particular evidence reference or discovery reference is that's great. Now, Mr. and Mrs. Jury, does that give you reasonable doubt? No. Why? I'm not really sure I understand it. Just as I thought. Just as I thought. Do you know that there are things that are never going to come up in a trial? If you believe that there was a microphone that was either used as a projectile device to deliver some type of a death projectile, I don't know what it is, or if it was used in concert with something else, do you know that that's never going to come up? Never. You're not going to be able to introduce, and so, I'd like to present to you the following, either on the defense case in chief or in cross-examination of this state. Officer, detective, did you happen to review the fragments of this? Are you aware of perhaps the notion of an exploding microphone? No. Did you investigate the possibility of an exploding microphone? No. Did anybody tell you about an exploding microphone? No. Okay, thank you. Thank you so much, my friend Dan Dangler. Hope you are well, sir, my friend. When are you going to bring this up? How do you introduce the possibility of an exploding mic? You might be able to, across examination, say, did you ever notice this? Did you notice how the shirt went up like this and this went up like this and the exit wound didn't do this? Yeah. And you might be able to say that this is inconsistent with the 30-06, with the Mauser 98. But how are you going to introduce into evidence hypotheses, theories, alternative theories? How? Is that going to cause reasonable doubt or confuse them? Let me say this again. Is this going to cause a reasonable doubt or confuse them? I'm going to say something also to you, which is crazy. You're not going to like this, but I'm going to tell you this. You do know that people think we're crazy, right? You do know that. You do know that when you're a part of what we're doing here, people think we're crazy. You understand what I'm saying? They think you're crazy because they think you have this terrible, pardon the expression, this hard on for Erica Kirk, this kind of a tendentious focus on this poor widow. You do know that, right? They think you're crazy. They think you're crazy. And they think you're a conspiracy theorist. And they think that you're crazy. Some people, not all people. You know that, right? You got to understand this. There are people who think you are just out of your mind. Now, I don't know who these people are, how important they are. So if you're in a courtroom and you're talking about the possibility of alternative theories up to and including an exploding mic, you do know that you might look like an idiot. You might look like a loon. You do understand that, right? See, sometimes we get so into this that people forget how we sound. Like Laura Loomer does not know she's perceived as a nut. I'm not saying she's a nut, but I'm saying she has no idea. She really doesn't know this. You have to know how you're perceived. So what I'm saying is if you go in there and this jury's going to sit there and say, what are you talking about? Because they're going to hear police, they're going to hear technicians, they're going to hear a lot of people speak and say a lot of things. They really are. And they're going to be talking about this, and they're going to look at you and say, what? Now, all I want to do is cause reasonable doubt, not confuse them. Does this make any sense to you? I don't want to interrupt a lot of the fine people whom I really love and respect on YouTube. And they've got some great theories, but it's like, has nothing to do with a trial. This is just us talking. I'm interested in a trial. Tyler Robinson is not going to be found not guilty because your timestamp or your something or other or a Dairy Queen photo or a Discord message does not jibe with the amount of time it took to drive. That's not reasonable doubt. That's confusion. Do you hear what I'm saying? I don't think people understand this. When you say, well, why would he want to do that? Well, why would Tyler want to drive 4 hours just to... Is that reasonable doubt? Are they going to say, you know what, I'm going to find him not guilty? Why? Because I don't know why somebody would want to do that. That's not it. We're talking about the proof. Did the state prove this? Yeah. Do you have any doubts about what the state proved? Yes. Not doubts about alternate theories you brought up that nobody's even talking about but you. Do you understand this? Now, I'm trying to work on this blurred screen, ladies and gentlemen. We're trying to do my best. Let me see if I can fix this thing. I'm still trying my best. Let me see this. I'm going to try to... Now, the background is blurred. You understand, right? The background is blurred. Let me try this. I'm going to try my best to restart this. Don't go away. Don't move. Okay. All right. Is that any better at all? Let me know. Let me know. Let me know. Let me see this here. Just a minute here. Okay. Is that, my friends, any better at all? Do you see this? You see this? You and the foreground are also blurred. Is this better? Nope. Nope. No. Nope. Oh, well. I don't know what to tell you. Well, just do yourself a favor. Just listen as much as possible. Remember, this is being heard by others as well. I appreciate what everybody is saying, and I really appreciate, I swear to you, I really try to understand and to grasp and to tell people in many respects that what they are saying here is, it might be difficult sort of for them to understand, but how do I say this? I'm worried about a trial. Let me see this. I'm worried about a trial. I don't care anything about alternative theories. I'm worried about the trial. And I'm telling you right now, which nobody really wants to discuss, but I'm going to try my best to say it in a nice way. You do know they're not going to let this kid live. Now, the bottom line is, we can, again, I don't want to necessarily bring this up. I don't want to say this. How do I say this? I don't want to say this. I don't want to say this to precipitate this, but you do know they can't let this happen. Understand this? It's a very interesting question. My question is, how could those people, the judge, the prosecutor, and the defense attorney, live with their self, like they're supposed to be fighting for justice, and they all know what's going on is not okay. Well, I bless your heart. Okay, bless your heart. What is the role of the prosecutor? Do you think the prosecutor knows? Do you think the prosecutor knows that he is acting in behalf of trying to perpetuate some I don't know what you want to call it, some cabal, some conspiracy? Do you think the prosecutor knows that? Do you think the prosecutor knows? And this is important. Do you think the prosecutor knows that somebody else did this, that Tyler Robinson did not do this? This is very important. Do you believe this? Do you, honest to God, believe this? Do you think it's true? Do you think it's true? Do you think they just don't know? Do you think that they are just, or excuse me, that they're aware of this? Do you? Do you really think that? This is important. You got to answer the question. Do you think the prosecutor is there knowing he or she or they are part of some cabal? They are perpetuating a cabal. Do you think that? Do you? You're saying they know that a Utah state prosecutor, that is being presented evidence by the police regarding this guy, knows, this is important, and that they are actively hiding the fact that there is some other modality, some other form of truth, some other group of people. You really believe that? No, they don't. No, they do not go in Utah. These state prosecutors who are handling, oh, by the way, we're giving you this case to prosecute, but you do know it's the CIA or Israel or Mossad or MI6, or you do know this, right? So we want you to go ahead and perpetuate this. We want you to, and moreover, what I don't understand is the following. Do you think that the defense knows somebody else did it and that they've got to be a hell of a lot more aggressive? I would be, without violating any type of rules, any type of gag order, I would be on every TV show there was, telling everybody about all my theories about everything. I would stink this case up. I would have people say, what? I would say, we don't even know whether there were bullet fragments found in Charlie. We don't know. Let me show you this. This is his shirt. Everybody has agreed and authenticated this. Everybody has this shirt going up. This is what they're doing. I want to show you something. I'd go on every show. I would have a channel, unless it was a gag order that prevented me from doing this. But I would say, this is you can have a ram's head, or I hate to say it, but something from a hunter, a deer, or some pretty big, cabeza, some head. And let me show you what a 30-06 would do. So you want us to believe that this little tiny hole right here. And here's a shot from behind. Look, there's no exit wound. Look, there's nothing. Look how his shirt goes up and all this stuff is weird. You don't think that's strange? There's Livia. Livia joins us. Livia says, the persecution doesn't know, but they know. No. I know that. I mean, they might have some wondering about whether they can prove it or not, but they don't believe, or they don't know they're covering up for some kind of a cabal. Absolutely Positively not. Absolutely, positively not. Nope. They don't think like that. This is Utah. This guy's here. They hear, and when they say, when the sound goes off over there, this thing is coordinated to go off theoretically at the same time. So when you hear, you get this, like that. So whoever do it, they're going to say, well, they got to make sure that is coordinated to this, and it goes off at the same time, and you know. And if I were the prosecution, I'm going to say, and whoever these people were, they're going to do it in front of the world. It's one thing to have another sniper, but to have a device like that. And people are, what they're saying? They're going to say, oh, this is Mossad. This is Israel. This is the beeper. They love that stuff. They love this stuff. These little taking something that nobody thought, a beeper, a pager, a microphone, a lavalier mic, and having that as the weapon. They do this stuff all the time. Do you think they're going to do? Why would they want to do that then? What are they, stupid? If you want to get rid of the guy, get rid of the guy. Why do this with 1 million phones? Does that make any sense to you? Does that make any sense to you? And this is what the prosecution is going to say. Trudy Williams says, no gunshot. Love you, Lionel. Well, that's not what you heard. Thank you. I will then counter with, well, how come there was nothing linked to that gun? How come there was nothing linked to that gun? To which the prosecution is going to say, are you telling me it's impossible that the gun was used, or that there hasn't been that it hasn't been linked? See, we don't even know because we haven't seen we haven't seen the discovery. So there's a lot of questions. But the idea is that everybody's in on it. Now, the defense lawyers, I would say, somebody must be saying, and this is what I don't understand. Maybe they've done it, maybe not. I would have had investigators go see Barron and Candace and Nisi and every one of us to sit down and meet with them and to say, tell me what you think. I'm not going to call you as a witness. You're just an observer. You're just somebody who saw this. You're just not a witness, but you're somebody who has a theory. You've looked at, just like a paralegal or a nurse sometimes will go through the evidence in a medical malpractice case to collate the evidence, to put the records in, to put them together and, that kind of thing. So there's no reason why, for example, Barron would have to be like co-counsel. He doesn't have to file pro hoc vice as a foreign lawyer. No, just as my thoughts. Tell me they've done that. Tell me they've done that. And I would go on every show there was, and they say, you're going to call this a conspiracy theory. And right off the bat, I would go on Fox or whoever would listen and say, you're going to get it out of the way. You're going to call this a conspiracy theory. Let me show you the video, and then you call it whatever you want, okay? What is this? What is this? 30-06 coming this way? Around a little hole here? A cervical vertebra that's so powerful, that's so granite-like it doesn't shatter? I would have people say, I didn't know that. See, most people don't know anything about this. How many people have you heard who say, why are you so mean to Erica? It's like, would you stop being mean? You don't care about being mean to Laura Loomer. Well, that's different. She's crazy. Well, that says you. So being mean's okay, but not to the right. You don't even know what you're talking about. What I'm saying is, we talk like this because we're conspiracy nuts. We're conspiracy theorists. In a court, all that goes out the window. You don't talk like that. You don't talk about this. You don't talk about none of this comes up. There's no predicate for me to come up with. What? And how come they were taking the SD cards out? Okay. I don't know. Why? What the hell difference does that have to make? And how come they wanted to pave it over right away? I don't know. What does it have to do with who shot him? What do you mean, what does that have to do? That's your talk. That's Lionel Nation talk. There's nothing to do with the courtroom. You're not going to bring this stuff up. What are you going to do? How come there wasn't an ambulance there? I don't know. Is that a part of the charge? No, I'm not going to talk about that. And you'll say, aha. What was that? I know. You know what? What do you know? I know. You got something planned. What do I have planned? Brother Brove says 300 blackout uses the same bullet as a 30-06 designed to be silent from a pistol-length barrel. Its terminal velocity aligned with Kirk's injury. 300 blackout. Great. Okay. Who's going to introduce that? Terrific. I'm going to call you. I call as my first witness, Your Honor, Brother Brove, 1881. And he's going to talk about a 300 blackout, I guess you say, uses the same bullet as a 30-06, designed to be silent. Okay. From a pistol-length barrel. Okay. What would you like to do? I'd like to introduce this. Introduce this as what? Introduce this as another theory? You want to be what? Co-prosecutor? What do you want to do? I want to put this on to show you that this theory, this makes sense because that's the way he actually perished and not via this crazy cockamamie Mauser 98. So you're going to stop your case. Stop it. And you are going to introduce new evidence, and you're going to be like a co-prosecutor. Trudy says, every conspiracy theory has been proved to be true. In this case, or you mean all the ones in real life? I don't know what that means, but thank you. What does that mean? Yeti? Sasquatch? Is that? I don't know. I don't know what that means. Listen, I'm not arguing with you. I'm saying this. Let's talk about this, but don't think any of this comes into court. None of it. The judge will say, what are you doing? Your Honor, I'm going to talk about a 300 blackout. What does that have to do with what? You want to have a net? What? Well, this could have been a 200. Could have been a Derringer. You know, a Derringer works too. A Derringer. Okay. He also could have had a stun gun that could have been used by prongs that have been activated in the actual. Okay. You see, what I'm telling you is that this is great civilian talk. Fun. In court, I want to prove they've got it. I'm not going to bring this up. Let them do it. I don't think the prosecutor knows what the. Look. Again, you go to this office. If you and I could, I know exactly the way it's going to look. We'll go to the prosecutor's office. Remember, this is state, not federal. Walk in, meet with them, and say, "So, you know, this is MI6 or Mossad or military intel, right? What are you talking about? Come on, you know this. You know what's going on here. Know what? You know that Tyler Robinson didn't do this, that you're covering it up. I'm not covering up anything. I'm the prosecutor. They gave this to me. They didn't even have a grand jury yet. And they still haven't had a preliminary hearing yet. I don't think we're done with that yet. I don't even think so. Because had there been a grand jury, we wouldn't need any of this. All this would have been done. So all this evidence is going to be coming out. Why didn't it go before a grand jury? I have no idea. Stephen Salty says, the infiltration of the Lionel Nation is legion. The infiltration, what does that mean, sir? Thank you for that. Again, what does that mean? The infiltration, you mean people talking here? Look at this. The ineptness of the defense attorneys make the whole thing rigged. Why are they inept? What have they done that's inept? What do you know that I don't know? What? C4 explodes. There were no explosions. I'm not talking C4. Who said C4? How about Semtex? You see what people are doing? This is very interesting. You're just reading. You're reading. I mean, nothing wrong with it. It's fun. If we were going to write a detective novel or something, it'd be fun to do this. It really would be fun just to come up with things like this. But you're talking about stuff, there's no evidence of it. We can talk about directed energy weapons. Don't you find it interesting that the sound of the crack of something coordinated perfectly with the immediate reaction, the gushing from the ostensible wound? Don't you find that interesting? I do. Well, what do you think that means? I don't know. But I'm going to tell you, if I'm your co-counsel, I'm going to tell you, don't worry about this. It's their problem. We're not going to bring this up. You go ahead, call your first witness. You're going to prove two things. Number one, actually, Tyler did this. And I think you're going to bring that rifle up. I think you're going to bring that rifle. And if you don't bring that rifle up, I may bring it up for you. I may say, how come you didn't bring that rifle up, which was there? What do you mean? Because that may look, put it this way, if I'm going to bring up a rifle that hasn't been linked in any way to the murder, this is fantastic. I say, what's going on? What does this thing mean? Did they drop it? Was this a plant? It's almost as though something was interrupted. The second thing I'm going to talk about is the issue of the actual confession. And I want to know specifically, before we go to trial, what are you going to be introducing as to confessions? What are you going to show me now? Steven says, we have stepped into their world and making noise. Okay, I appreciate that. Well, we're going to make a lot more noise. I'm just pointing, and by the way, we are, Steve, just bringing up the facts of this. So will Tyler be unalived in your opinion, El? Oh, yeah. I'm sorry to say this. Yeah. He has to be. There is no way for you to, if there really are these people who have exploding mics and who wanted to dispatch and eliminate him at the last minute because of what he said as to certain whatever it is, I would definitely say that he most assuredly had no, I'll put it this way. I'll say it differently. If tomorrow, during the course of the weekend and everything else, if tomorrow you find out breaking news, let's go live to the Utah court or whatever it is, and if they were to say, breaking news right now, officials said that the lifeless body of Tyler was found and authorities are okay. You know what would happen immediately afterwards? Nothing. Nobody would care. They would call him crazy. They would say he's a lunatic. They would say, what do you expect? And it would be forgotten. There won't be anything else. And you might have somebody, listen, you might have, I don't know, you might have somebody, some great reviewers, the usual folks. I'll talk about it, of course. Barron will talk about it as well, or other people. But it'll be it. We'll talk about it, and nobody will care. They'll say, well, there you go. He did seem kind of crazy. Yeah, he did. Going out with that crazy whatever that thing was. What was it? I don't know what that thing was. What was that thing? I don't know what that thing was. He was crazy. He sure was. He was crazy. Must have been guilty, right? Yeah. Oh, well, let's move on. That'll be the end of it. And they know this. There will be no, they will make sure there's no cameras. They will make sure there'll be some poor guy, whoever those people are watching his cell. I'm going to say one of yous is going to be losing your retirement because I got news for you. Something's going to happen to him, and something tells me you're going to be sleeping, or you're going to be searching the internet, or you're going to be in the John, or you're going to be someplace. Because if I were you, I would take my chair and get right in front of his cell because they're going to do it, and they're going to blame you. Because if they do it, all this goes away. It's not ever talked about ever again. They'll say, see, I told you. So much for your conspiracy theory now, huh? What was that about the exploding mic? Yeah. And then you're going to say, well, they Epsteined him. And you're going to say, oh, you're not doing that again, are you? You just don't think anything's real. Now, do you? This is exactly what they're going to do. And nothing will come of it because Americans don't follow up with anything. Look at Epstein. Nobody. What does it say? Sass Girl says, can you talk about what's happening with the Luigi Mangione case? Oh, very simple. He's going to trial. Everything they needed to prosecute was not held inadmissible. I think there was a phone, some kind of a device, but the gun, his manifesto, that which says why he wanted to kill this poor man, oh, that's coming in. It's nothing. Oh, this guy is the only thing they can possibly do is work on sentencing. He is so profoundly guilty. Profoundly. There's no defense. And if he does insanity, then that means he's got to admit. See, insanity, remember, you admit you did it. You said, yeah, I did it, but I was crazy. So there's no, the only thing they can do is to put all their emphasis on trying to work on sentencing to show that he was crazy or he was special or he was whatever the hell it is. That's the thing. See, there's no defense. They got him on tape. They got him on. He's right there. I mean, so what they remember, there's also the federal case. The federal case is going on concurrently with the state case. The federal case is going to be life. Pam Bondi wanted the death penalty, but the federal judge says no. And I think that was correct. It wasn't terrorism. There wasn't enough evidence of that. Oh, so this guy is just. Now, what I would do also during the case, I would describe him constantly as an idiot. He is one of these folks who believes he's a genius. He believes he's a genius, a criminal mastermind. John Douglas did this during the Wayne Williams case. Remember him? The Atlanta murders. Remember the Atlanta strangulation? Daryl Cater. John Douglas said, make fun of him. Do this. It will infuriate him. And it did. He went berserk. So that's what they're going to do. They're going to just make him out to be just this idiot, this open and shut case. There's nothing to it. There's no real defense. It was very misleading, I thought, the way the news made it sound like he was so, like there was this, what am I trying to say? That there were that the items seized, it's a blow to the defense. Those items were nothing. This is a different story. So let me tell you something right now. I would actually, this sounds, if I could write a script without tampering, I would say, okay, listen, do me a favor. Mr. Robinson, I want you to talk to whoever it is, your lawyer, and I want you to put a statement out. And you're going to say, I know they are going to do me in. I don't know how they're going to do it, but I'm telling you right now, whatever you hear, do the old, I didn't, harm myself. Whatever you hear, it wasn't me. I didn't do this. I have absolutely no reason to want to do this. I can't wait to go to trial. I didn't do this. Now, again, I keep saying again a lot. We don't know what he said in his prior Q&A or what he said to anyone for that matter. Somebody was saying, isn't it odd that he goes and he supposedly is going to turn himself in, but he pleads the fifth. He wants to have a lawyer. Okay, that may be odd. That cannot come up in court. If the prosecutor brings up anything about not speaking and preferring a lawyer, that is a mistrial automatically, because you're commenting on the defendant's election to use the Fifth Amendment right to remain silent. You can't bring it up. You can't say, well, they say there's two sides to every story. Not in this case. Let me also tell you, to any of my good UK friends here, this is unbelievable what is going to be happening next regarding Andrew, what's going on regarding this case. This is nowhere near over with. The Meghan Markle, the Kate collisions, oh God, they've got us beat. Now, Tulsi Gabbard, tragic about her husband. Tulsi Gabbard was shit canned. Tulsi Gabbard and also RFK's daughter-in-law, ex-CIA, they're quitting. Fetterman's people are quitting. These people with a conscience, are saying, this is nuts. This intel is bullshit. And I love these people who just, we're changing the subject somewhat, but Tulsi Gabbard, get out of that administration. You can't be yourself. The longer you're there, the more you look like you're compromising. The longer you look like you're setting yourself up, or that you're just doing this for your own particular financial gain. Get out of there as soon as possible. She would be wonderful. Let me tell you something. Nobody wants to say this. Nobody wants to deal with this. Nobody wants to even come close to grasping this. Everything changed October the 7th. Everything. It changed and then didn't change and then changed back. They have no earthly idea how everything's changed. And in our world, the people who comment, the people that I used to despise, I should say despise, people I didn't listen to, now they make complete and total sense as to this. Do you know what's happening right now? Do you understand this? The vortices that are moving in, the way that all these forces are kind of imploding in, this direct implosion, while this past week, the end of late night, the end of Colbert, the end of CBS, the end of the stuff that the Candace Owens Biden interview, watch her open up a new channel of the Democratic Party that aligns with us, that really weren't Democrats, because you're really not this iteration of the Republican. You people aren't Teddy Roosevelt, Barry Goldwater, Ronald Reagan conservative types. Absolutely not. They don't even define you. You're after this thing called truth. Do you know what's going to happen? No, you don't. This is bigger than anything anybody has ever seen before. It all started And internationally, I swear to you, Iran just had their revolution, which wasn't in 79. It's now. It's now. How everything changed. Everything changed. And nobody even wants to even hear about it or think about it. I'm hearing things, I see things that this case is also very, very, we need to have more people going, I hate to say it, outside of our particular world and going to cable news and explaining. Dog's Nose says, Trump staying in D.C. this weekend. Do you think the boots are on the ground or false flag on U.S. soil coming? Great stream and thanks. Could be, thank you. Could be. Boots on the ground? Absolutely not. If Donald Trump has American troops land anywhere in Tehran, Tehran for sure, but in Iran, he is out of his mind. Land there, you need 1 million troops. 1 million. Not 50,000, 1 million. Any questions? What is he doing? I have no idea. I don't know anything. It's the most incredible thing in the world. What Hunter Biden was alleging regarding Donald Trump and his family, if those same allegations, assuming to be true, arguendo, were to have been made against the Biden administration, you would have called for his indictment. The double standard is alive and well, like you can't believe. I'm not standing up or verifying the veracity of any of this. I'm just telling you the way it is. I think the Iran thing is over, done, finished, through. He did as much as he possibly can. He can tell whomever, I tried my best. We don't have the time, the wherewithal. I got political headwinds. We've got, I've got midterms coming up. This is a disaster. Nobody wants this. Nobody wants this. Except Mark Levin and, I guess, and Lindsey Graham, I guess. I don't even know what they're talking about. No, that's over. That's done. It's finished. That thing is going nowhere. That is just bullshit. And wait until you haven't even felt the gas yet. Remember this. As soon as they go to like a Costco or a Pep Boys or I don't know, and you see Castrol oil and Pennzoil and you see motor oil gone, wait till you hear them talking about disasters in food crises. Holy shit. That is going to be wow. Because Americans, as you know, don't know anything. Strait of Hormuz, all of those tankers that would bring urea and all helium and all of the stuff that's required for fertilizer. The actual, how do I say this? I guess you would say the planting or whatever, the harvest, not the harvesting, but the planting season, this is pretty much done. You're just wait till wheat goes up. We have been living on borrowed time. Do you see what's happening to Bitcoin lately? Have you been watching this? Are you hearing what's going on? This is unheard of. This is unbelievable. This was considered what? Bitcoin. Yes. Listen to what's happening. And once things start, remember this, like cows in a pasture. One cow gets spooked and they all run. And we don't know why. I say, why did he run? I don't know. But they're all running. And they're going crazy. And they're shorting, and I mean, you don't know what's going to happen. All of this. We don't have yet a revolution. The revolutions that we have in this country, or the reforms, are not going to be in the street with rifles and guns and violence. Stop that lunacy. We are ready for something. And one of the biggest things that's going to happen from this, and all of it is part of everything. You're going to hear the new voices, Tucker Carlson and Candace Owens. Candace Owens, she says she's got to change one thing she's saying. She says, I don't really care about politics. Okay, start caring about it. Tucker's got that covered. Notice how Tucker and his brother Buckley, they're talking more. He's never sounded more lucid to a lot of people. And a lot of people on the other side, whatever the other side is, they're being told this. He's right. He's right, right? He's right. Tucker's right. Listen to what I'm telling you. You are a part of something which is bigger than anything. Don't think this is just about Tyler Robinson. Don't think it's about Candace. Don't think it's about Erica. No. It's about this big thing that's changing everything. This is so huge. You're going to see new voices, new leaders, new people. We have got to get younger folks, get them in and start training them to think like we do. I would have them watch, first things first, I would have them watch John Mearsheimer or McGregor. Have them watch them and commit them to memory. Listen to what they're saying. You don't hear this anywhere else. This is an exciting time, but I want to go back to the Tyler Robinson thing. All this stuff is great. It's fun. And the little, my God, the minutiae, IAE, are just incredible. The jury's never going to hear that. It's never going to come up in court. Never. It's nothing to do with court. Nothing. Absolutely has nothing to do with it. The question is going to be, can they prove or can they establish a reasonable doubt? Number two, Tyler, get the word out right now. Have all lines looking. Tyler says, I'm still here. And have him say, they've got to get rid of me. They have no case. Whoever's responsible for this, I don't know, does not want to be embarrassed. If I disappear, they don't have to answer anymore. All their problems are done with. Charlie's gone and I'm gone because I'm the patsy, and the patsy always is eliminated. Period. Tell them this unequivocally. Let me tell you something. And none of these people are perfect. Marjorie Taylor Greene, Tucker, Candace, I don't care what perfect means. You're not going to recognize this country in a few years. You're not going to recognize it. Political parties are dead. Oh, there's always going to be there. There's always going to be, there's always going to be a skating rink. There's always going to be a bowling alley. There's always going to be a game room. There's a foosball machine somewhere. I mean, there's always going to be something, but that's done. This is a revolution, my friends. So in any event, I thank yous. I appreciate it. Thank you so much. Oh, hantavirus, forget that. Ebola. Ebola is a hemorrhagic disease. This is Ebola Zaire versus Ebola Western from Western Virginia. Ebola Zaire, it's a hemorrhagic. You bleed through your nipples, through your ears, through your eyes, that you just ooze, you exude, you extravasate, you just, blood flows where my rosemary goes. And nobody knows like me. They're going to try that one first. Oh, they got all kinds of stuff happening. Watch what happens. Then the food. Watch the futures. Watch the commodities. Watch what happens to wheat and all this kind of stuff. Watch what happens. Everybody benefits, no matter what it is. Hegelian dialectic. We're going to do something, but also like Rahm Emanuel, never let a good disaster go by. So watch, my friends. Watch. And you are going to see a reconfiguration of the world. The world and the Middle East is going to be like this. Watch what happens. And one day, Donald Trump will say, one of the things in his biography or section should, I should not have listened to everyone. There are some people I should not have listened to. I was betrayed by people who were supposedly there to help me, family, friends, and the like. And let me also tell you something. Memorial Day. Memorial Day, I cannot say this again. Memorial Day is a very, very sad day. But when I hear freedom isn't free, I want to lose my mind. It's like, stop saying that. Stop saying freedom isn't free. It is a I don't know what the word is. It's a joke. It's a bad. Did you see the fella on Fox News with the mask? Fox News says, Fox News guest Robert Hayward sparks wild conspiracy theory over a latest TV experience. Why is it a wild conspiracy theory? Stop using those terms. And one more thing. Listen to me carefully. Repeating the phrase, freedom isn't free, can unintentionally encourage the wholesale acceptance of sacrifice, of death, and war as inevitable or natural, or even noble parts of maintaining liberty. The phrase, freedom isn't free, conditions people, habituates people to see the cost of freedom buried in the ground, CSN, as permanent, unavoidable, I guess, portraying loss and conflict, not as tragedies to be avoided, but as necessary dues paid to preserve society. This is what makes me crazy. Don't say freedom isn't free. War is unnatural. It's ungodly. It is unchristian, ungodly, unholy. It is antithetical to human belief. It is wrong. It is a cancer. It's not natural. It's not ordinary. It's a bunch of war profiteers, and Ike was right, that people fall into. Being an American does not mean saying, yay, look at the size of my lapel pin. See, I'm an American. Dear God. Watch. This is huge. I see it. I see the storm clouds coming, and I know you do too. All right, dear friends, thank you so very much. I'll see you tonight, maybe. I'm thinking 7 o'clock or so. I'm thinking maybe 7, maybe 8. I don't know. So make sure you stay tuned. Make sure you are a part of this. Make sure you hit that little bell so you're notified of live streams and new videos. Make sure also tonight, Sunday morning, 2 to 5 a.m. on WABC. Oh, last night it was great. We had every lunatic from every bar and every methadone clinic in the tri-state area calling. It was fantastic. It was wonderful. But also, thank you for this. Thank you. Please follow my beloved Lynn Shaw at Lynn's Warriors. She's doing some great work. And until we see each other, and thank you, by the way, all of the Super Chat contributions. You were wonderful. I appreciate it. And until we see each other again, my friends, remember, the monkey's dead. The show's over. Sue ya. Ta-ta.